Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So as the title says, I've managed to rope my husband into doing his nails. This was kind of challenged to me by ZC Beauty on Instagram. So I'm just going to start by filing his nails into shape. They are quite short, he normally bites them. So I'm just doing kind of the best job that I can. He's not got a lot of free edge going on. Obviously they're just in a round shape, so I'm just doing the best I possibly can with what I've got to work with. So next I'm using my e-file and one of the flame cuticle bits. This is just to remove the cuticle from the nail plate, so it's only removing the dead skin and obviously making sure that there's no cuticle left on the skin. He never has his nails done. I think the last time I did any kind of manicure or anything like that for him was when I first started doing nails and I had to do a case study. So that has been at least 7 years. So obviously I knew that his cuticle weren't going to be in the best shape. They're also not in the worst shape, but they're not in the best. So that is why I used my e-file, because I thought it would remove a lot more of the non-living tissue actually on his nail plate than if I was to just use a metal cuticle tool. Obviously this didn't hurt him, it's not hurting the natural nails. You can see there's no damage at all to the nail plate as I'm using it. So he didn't complain as much as I thought he would either, which is quite good. I'm really sorry if some of this is out of focus. Obviously my tripod was kind of in the way. I was trying to keep it in focus as much as I possibly could, as well as being quite close to the camera, because as you guys know, I don't normally do people's nails on camera. So, but you can see all of that dead tissue coming off of the nail plate. It's really satisfying. So then once I'd done that, I just grabbed my cuticle nippers. There wasn't loads of cuticle around his eponychium or anything like that, so I just wanted to use my nippers just to get anything off rather than using my e-file. Obviously you can use an e-file to do this if you want to, but I just like to nip. And now I'm just using a black carbide sanding band. This is just in a 240 grit, as far as I'm aware. So it's the same as using a nail file. It's obviously just easier, it's quicker, and as you can see, all I'm doing is just taking the shine off of his natural nail. I'm not going over and over his natural nail loads. It was just literally to remove the shine, ready for a gel application. With obviously the sanding bands as well, you can just throw them away after each client. Sometimes it's a bit more cost effective than just using a nail file, but again, up to you, but it is just a 240 grit. Just going back in with my cuticle nippers to remove any other bits of cuticle. So now I'm just scrubbing the nail plate for 10 seconds with the Magpie Prep and Dehydrate. This is all that you need for a gel application. So using a new lint-free wipe as well per hand. Let's just make sure that you're not transferring oils from each hand. So now we're all ready for our gel application. Sorry, that was a little bit quick. I'm using the Clear Build Me Up by Magpie and also the number 2 gel brush. So I'm just starting off with my first layer here. It's quite thin and you don't want to overload the nail with your first layer. I chose to use the size 2 brush just because it is a bit smaller and he has got obviously very short nails. So I didn't want to be using a massive brush, as I want to make sure that I'm not getting any product onto his skin as much as possible. And then obviously to cap the free edges, I'm essentially doing it backwards, so I'm making sure that my brush end is facing him, and I'm just running it along his free edge. And then onto the second hand, exactly the same thing. Just making sure to cover all of the nail in a nice even layer as much as possible. And again, going backwards with capping my free edges. This is a great tip for anyone who has got very short bitten nails. And then curing for 60 seconds. So then this is just a slip layer of gel. So I'm just using like the remaining gel on my brush. And this just means that the layer that I'm now going to do, it's easier for me to move the product around because I've just done that slip layer. So obviously I'm using a little bit more product here, just to kind of start building up the nail. I do only do 2 layers on my husband. On a normal client who wants to grow their nails or has longer nails, I would always do 3, but for the sake of the video, and obviously because we're not essentially growing his nails, there was no point in me doing a 3rd layer, and then obviously curing that for 60 seconds as well. So again, this is my slip layer, just using that remaining gel, just making it easier for me to move the gel product around. Sorry, it's a little bit out of camera here. So that you can see I'm sort of using a bead and I'm pushing it up to the cuticle and then evening it out over the nail, moving it around. And then once that's been fully cured, I'm just going to wipe off the inhibition layer and I'm just going to file his nails just once more, just to make sure that the shape is all good. And then I'm going to go back in with my e-file sanding band. This is just to refine the product. There's not a lot of refinement I needed to do for him because obviously he hasn't got super long nails, so it's quite easy for me essentially to do. But obviously with the Build Me Up product, you can refine it if you need to. But also because I'm doing some nail art on the top, I also need a really nice matte surface. So that was another reason that I did it. But this at least makes sure that everything is nice and smooth. There's no lumps or bumps. And it's really quick and easy to do, obviously, with the e-file sanding band. So then, other hand, just removing the tacky layer. I use Magpie Prep and Dehydrate to do that. You can use cleanser. And then just doing the same thing again with the nail file, just shaping the nail. And then obviously using my sanding band just to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. And then now I'm just wiping the nails again with a new lint-free wipe with some Prep and Dehydrate, just to make sure that all of that dust has come off of the nail, making sure that the nail is nice and clean. So now I'm going in to do my nail art, and I'm using the Magpie black gel paint and also the Magpie detailer brush. So I'm doing some calligraphy lettering on his fingers, getting him to flash cure for 10 seconds as well with each nail. This just makes sure that nothing moves around while I'm moving on to the next nail. Obviously I have sped this up quite a lot for you guys, because otherwise we would be here for quite a while. I did also have a reference photo just off of Google that I was using at the time, just to make sure that I was getting all the lettering white. And then obviously once I finished the 4, I fully cured for 60 seconds in my lamp and then moved on to the next hand. So obviously you guys will have started to see now that I'm painting out the words "stay home," which I thought was really quite relevant for at the moment. We've been in self-isolation now for almost 2 weeks because the boys have been unwell. They haven't had coronavirus, it was just a cold and a cough. But obviously we were following the government guidelines of self-isolating, so that's what we've been doing. So once that's all been fully cured and done, I'm using the Don't Tacky top coat from Magpie, and then that's going to be cured for 60 seconds. Making sure to cap the free edges. And again, on the other hand, and curing for 60 seconds. Then I'm just going to add some cuticle oil just to rehydrate his skin, making sure not to get any on the nail at the moment. So in here are the finished nails. So obviously the slogan of "stay home," you know, the UK is in lockdown at the moment. Like I said, we've been in self-isolation for nearly 2 weeks now. So I just thought it was quite relevant at the moment. And it was also a great way to show you guys how to do some hand-painted lettering. So thanks to ZC Beauty on Instagram for essentially convincing my husband to do this video with me. Actually didn't take as much convincing as I thought it was, and he didn't complain as much as I thought he would either, so it was great. So I hope that you like this video, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.